Hey, what's up, everyone? Chapter 1029 just dropped, and personally, I'd love this fight. I have a huge bias towards Hawkins because I think his powers are so cool. The way he thinks is really interesting, and his cards, especially, are really cool. Killer actually getting a lot of the spotlight, I think, really has made a lot of people more fond of his character, which is obviously something a lot of people haven't been ever since Onigashima. People just thought Kid was, that guy, and Killer was kind of meh. But Killer getting a lot of spotlight, really, really cool to see. But before we actually get into Killer's fight, obviously, which is the latter half of the chapter, let's talk about the basics of the chapter. We cut directly after Queen slicing Sanji and the sword breaking. Sanji's running away in genuine fear that his emotions are going to, fade away since he's becoming more and more like his siblings, and he's very worried that, oh my god, I'm just going to turn into a monster like them. And I think what makes it really good is that Chopper is so excited about this and Sanji is so terrified. I think that contrast is really, really cool. So I feel as though this is definitely going down the plot line of Sanji going to have to accept these powers and really kind of just realize he can't just run away. Ironically enough, he's literally running away from using these powers. So I think that's pretty cool, and pretty cool, honestly, that Oda literally showed Sanji running away while trying to run away from this realization. I don't know. I actually predicted that we would be seeing Law and Kid after seeing Zoro and Sanji, because those are the other two most important people on Onigashima, I would say. And seeing them fight with Big Mom and Kid getting absolutely sauced by Big Mom. Big Mom is like destroying this guy, saying he's not really doing anything. Law is calling him dead weight and pitiful. And Big Mom is saying that he's like a joke. Kid is saying, if I die here, I'll be a joke. And I think it's really, really funny. I'm not gonna lie, because obviously the fandom's perception of Kid is either really high or useless captain mid low. You know what I mean? So seeing him kind of have that moment, I know the memes from this chapter are going to be hilarious. I haven't looked at it yet, but I could just feel it, But yeah, Big Mom is really being an imposing figure. Instead of just like ganging up on Kid, she actually just takes down Law like it's nothing. I thought that was really impressive as well. And seeing Kid be injured is the direct segue into having Killer show up. And obviously, since Kid is only being impaired by Hawkins's sort of antics, seeing Killer lead right after this makes perfect sense. Now, I thought that Hawkins's and Killer's fight was so cool because it was almost like a mind game the whole time, which is something I really, really enjoy. I think that fights with like a unique story or like concept behind them, especially in One Piece, can be really well executed. I thought this was really well executed. So seeing Hawkins not even fighting with Killer, because Killer isn't fighting Hawkins, because if Killer does, he knows his crew will be injured, Kid will get injured, so Hawkins is just bashing his head into a pillar and causing Kid to be more and more like confused and like not being able to actually function well. I thought that was really cool, while not actually killing Kid, because obviously if Hawkins did that, actually I don't really know, that I don't think it would hurt him doing this at all, which, you know what, pretty smart, not gonna lie. So Killer starts kind of talking to Hawkins, saying that he's a coward, he is just a loser, and it's just great because all these things that Hawkins has done, he's betrayed them. He just joined Kaido the second he saw, that he was gonna lose if he stayed with Killer and Kid and Apu. And it's just so crazy. Killer even says that Hawkins like pissed himself. He was such a coward. And Hawkins is just thinking in like the grand scheme, like, I would never win, I would have died. And he says the reason that they are the Emperors of the Sea is because they are undefeatable. And it's really crazy. And Killer's absolute confidence and just swagger, almost, his undying will, is so cool. It's so cool, especially because, again, I didn't really expect anything from Killer. Like I assume a lot of people, he was just kind of there, but now he's so cool. He's so cool. He definitely fits that bill of Kid Zoro, because they're both just Zoro and Killer. They're both very confident. They're very like not calculative, but like they're the ones that kind of hold their captains back from being absolutely insane. And I think it's pretty cool. And now I'm just gonna deep dive into the final section of the fight because I think it was really, really well done. Killer says, "What happens if you take the damage? That is nowhere else to go." And I think it's so neat because I assume, and I assume many other people were kind of on this line as well, that Kid, he obviously doesn't have his arm. And I think that Killer's one arm being the arm that kind of, looks weird, is the arm Kid is missing. I didn't always. I just heard the theory and I was like, this is so sick. This has to be it. That is Kid's arm, on Killer. I thought that was a really neat theory because I never realized how veiny it was and how different it was from the rest of his body. So seeing that, I thought it was really neat. So Killer cuts off Hawkins's left arm, and obviously since Kid doesn't have that arm, Hawkins is screaming in pain, and this is the first time he's like, wait, why am I in pain? And so Killer removes the straw doll from Hawkins's arm, and Hawkins realizes he has none left, and it's just like, oh no. So he pulls out a death tarot card, realizing that, Killer's gonna die or something like that, and he decides to pull out that one big straw creature he made right from the beginning of Wano, the one him and Zoro and Luffy were fighting against. And Killer just uses his sort of saw blade kind of arm weapons and just slices through it immediately, which I think is really cool because it's like a scythe, and he's asking the cards once again to show him the results of the battle, and he gets the Tower tarot card, and that essentially is meant to be a new beginning, something like that. Hawkins is taken down by Killer in a really, really cool kind of upward slash, and he's done. There's no way he's gonna show up for the rest of the arc. And Killer does a pretty majestic flip at the end of it, and Killer's crew is super excited, like, you did it, hooray. And now Kid, being freed from Hawkins's clutches, is totally fine with this, and it seems as though things are leading up to Kid and Law fighting Big Mom next chapter, especially because the last panel says, "Go for it, partner." And Killer kind of willing Kid to fight as well. Now, I'm not really sure about this. I'm really unsure. Seeing Killer just tear Hawkins down was super fire, but I don't know if I want Kid to take down Big Mom. Like, Big Mom has so much potential for Elbaf, and I'm like, if she's taken down right now by Kid, and like, I'm not dissing Kid, but I am. I kind of am. But like, he needs to show up so hard right now, because it's not even like his powers, because I don't really care about powers, I'm not gonna lie, but he hasn't had that moment that made me really feel for him. He was getting there with him returning to the prison to kind of stop the people, find his crew, make sure that Killer was safe. That was cool. That was a really cool moment. But like, it never really led to anything. If this leads to something crazy, like Kid, when he went to, I don't really know how to describe it really. Like, he went to Big Mom's, obviously, he took something and left. If this leads into what he took or something along those lines, that could be really cool. But I just need more from Kid, like, not just power wise, because again, I don't really care, but like narrative wise, story wise, who is Kid wise, you know what I mean? I think that would definitely be a highlight of what's to come from his character in the future. So very, very intrigued as to where we go in that regard. But overall, definitely assuming Kid and Law versus Big Mom will be next chapter. We're just super hyped. Very, very excited to see that. I just hope she's not taken down. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this chapter was fire. I absolutely love Hawkins. I'm a big fan of him, like I expressed earlier. And seeing Killer really have these standout moments was super sick. So, I'm curious, what do you think of the chapter? I thought it was pretty solid, you know, very enjoyable. Really good fight as well. Really good fight. So, yeah, that's all my thoughts on it. I would love to know what you think down below. And, yeah, what do you think is going to happen in the future or next chapter? It might, you know what, I think it is Kid vs. Big Mom, but, like, if it's not, what's happening? Are we getting the Rizo, the chapter? That'd be, that'd be really bad. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's been it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did like the sort of content, make sure to do the YouTube spiel, like, comment, subscribe. I would love to know what your thoughts are on the chapter, and have a good one.